Alright, so, do you want to turn the music down so that you can talk about it?
Hello?
Fuck, what? Why?
That's not what I meant to do.
Well, that'll work.
Okay. Overall thoughts? 7.5 out of 10.
That's not bad. I expected you to rate it lower.
Mostly because, like, my main complaints, some aspects of the music did grate a little bit on my nerves, like the woman's voice. That gets a little cringy at some moments. The fact that there was... I would have liked to have them given us just a little bit more, excuse me, on the dialogue side of things.
And see, I disagree with you there. I really think this is a very, like, unique take on storytelling. Like, it's pure visual storytelling. Like, you don't have to rely on dialogue. What happens and, like, what you're trying to do and everything is so clear that you don't really need the dialogue. And, like, even though the language that's spoken is another language, I really like that they didn't have, like, overburden this simple, quick story with dialogue.
Well, and don't get me wrong, what they did worked for them. Mm-hmm. My personal preference, though, would have been, I'm not saying it had to be English or anything like that, but even just like a simple translation or something, I don't know, that the like, lore-seeking side of me would prefer them to have, like, this is exactly what's going on, like, this is what your father is sick with, or just a little bit more information that they could have provided through the dialogue. Not necessarily like a full-blown, it needs to be in English and it needs to be subtitled or anything like that, but just a little bit more, I don't know.
So, I think if I had any critique of the dialogue, it would be that I kind of wish, and I'm pretty sure this game is way, like, before Far Cry Primal, but Far Cry Primal does a really great job of when they speak, even though they're speaking a different language, it does have subtitles in your chosen language, English, French, whatever you choose.
Yeah.
I think the parts where they actually spoke, like dialogue moments, like the cutscenes, they could have put those in there. I don't think they're necessary, though.
Yeah. Other than that, the obvious.
Well, right, the mechanics are very strange. Take a lot to get used to.
But again, like the dialogue, I think it works for them.
Yeah, I think it was cool. If this game had been any longer, it would have been annoying.
Yeah.
But sure. I think for, like, this short, unique play style, I think it worked really well, especially at the end, like we mentioned before, where once the big brother dies, you just lose half your controller.
Yeah, that was definitely unique, to say the least. But, not to sound like I'm just talking about all the things I didn't like about the game. Mm-hmm. The art style, I did like. The music was nice. Something about, like, I was picking up, I think, I'm not good with instruments, but hints of, like, a bass and a cello and violins, and I like the stringed instruments like that, as well as woodwinds. Was that in there?
Probably.
That's what that sounds like.
Probably some. That is probably a flute.
Okay.
Or yeah, it's probably like a flute of some kind.
Okay.
That's what it sounds like to me, but
who knows?
the hell do I know?
But anyway, art style. music, other than the shrieking almost of the woman's voice. That does get a little repetitive and cringy. But part of that might have to do with my autism, I think, because I'm so focused on having a split controller, and then all of a sudden, I don't know where you've got this lady in the background, and it kind of snaps me out of whatever I'm focusing on. So of course then I get annoyed because I'm trying to focus.
Yeah, and her voice definitely did not bother me the way that it seems to have bothered you. And to be fair, this is my second playthrough, and I put that in quotes because obviously I didn't play this time.
Right.
I watched, but I had played it previously. But no, I'm pretty pleased with that. 7.5 out of 10 for a game that I personally recommended to you. I think that's pretty good.
We gotta remember you've got that other one too that you bought last time we were at GameStop. It's like a detective
Sinking
game.
City.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one I have not played.
Okay.
But it just looks really fucking cool. I'll probably be watching a playthrough of that and/or playing it here shortly, but I don't tend to stream by myself, so you know. Yeah, Brothers, Tale of Two Sons. If you guys liked what you saw or were interested at all, I'd encourage you to pick it up. It's literally like $10 right now at GameStop.
Yeah.
It was not expensive, and it's a cool little like 3-hour palate cleanser. Like, I obviously would recommend it, you know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that'd be the best way to describe it, would be a palate cleanser if you're playing whatever and you need to take a break and just kind of play something that's a little bit more easygoing. Especially if you're checking out Doom Eternal and you need to take a break, this would be a good, quick palate cleanser, so you don't have to get too in-depth into it. You know, not like Animal Crossing or anything where that's a full-blown...
Like hundreds and hundreds of hours game.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to do it for me. These are going to be uploaded at some point in the future. We're having Smash edit the videos at the moment.
Edit is a strong word.
Cut and paste. Or
I literally...
copy pasta.
Yeah, I just download them from Twitch and then cut them into more readily consumable bites, like 30 minutes, 30 minutes, and then I upload them to YouTube as part of a series. So I'm not sitting here like fiddling with sound or anything, mostly because I just don't have time. You guys, like, I am doing so much shit. Oh god.
I will say, with the I don't want to say the threat, but the potential
Impending doom.
the potential for quarantine coming up, there's a good chance that you will see a lot more content coming out from me.
Right.
Just because things have been so busy here lately.
Yeah.
I just haven't had the time. I've been trying to get my sleep schedule back in order because I was staying up until 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then having to stay up with the girls, and it was a vicious cycle.
I think part of that could just be like cutting down your streams. Instead of doing like 4-hour streams, cut it at like 2-hour bites.
Yeah,
that
would probably help.
That'll help.
The only bad thing about that is once I get into, if it's a game that I really, really am enjoying, then I don't want to stop. It's not too big of a deal on like a Friday night or Saturday night. Not a big deal, it's the weekend. But throughout the weekend, throughout the week, you know, that's when if I'm going to be streaming throughout the week, then I'll definitely try and push for like the 2-hour cut off. Especially if I can start when the girls go to bed.
Yeah.
7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Even if I were to put in 4 hours, that's 11, and that's still 6 hours earlier than I was going to bed. So.
Yeah, that's why we can't stream Don't Starve together anymore, because we literally just don't go to bed.
Stop.
I mean, we have super radical people that pop in, like Joe and Brenna and Shell, our MVPs, or MVVs, most valuable viewers, whatever.
Our move.
But yeah, I think. Okay. It wouldn't be the weirdest thing that's ever happened. My titties. But I think that's gonna do it for us, at least on this video. We're probably gonna do a couple other recordings here tonight. One will be really quick about Days Gone, and then we may do another stream thing of something else. It just depends on where we're at.
Maybe.
But I think that's gonna do it for Brothers.
Yeah, that's good. Again, 7.5 out of 10.
I obviously rate it higher than that. I rated it an 8.5 out of 10. But that's just me. I think it's a great game.
Okay, I will interject. I have another complaint, but it's also kind of like a... It's like a double-edged complaint, but could be taken as a... Had it been a longer game, and the controls been different, I feel like I would have actually... There was a chance of me getting that emotional attachment to it. Whereas, other games that are even twice as long as this one give you more of an opportunity to get more connected to the characters and develop an emotional connection with them, and then if something happens, like a loss, then you're more affected.
Right.
Whereas with this, it just wasn't... There wasn't enough for me to, oh no, the brother died.
I think part of it, too, may have been that you had a break. Because this game is not super long. It's 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
4 hours if you really take your time.
Yeah.
I played the whole thing in one go. So, this was basically, a day for me.
Yeah.
I woke up and I spent my time playing this game. So I did get to develop that emotional attachment, but I was also much more... I don't know. I was just much more... I don't want to say thorough. I just moved much more slowly through the whole thing. Because you explored everything. I don't know what I did or how I fucking slowed it down so much. It took me probably about 4 hours to get through the game. No. But I would rate it probably 8.5 instead of 7.5 because there are some things that are buggy. Some of the mechanics are buggy, and there are things that they could have done a little bit differently. But for what it is, I think it's very well done.
So yeah, anyway, we've been saying goodbye. It's typical Midwesterners. We've been saying goodbye for about 45 minutes now, so we're just going to call it. This will be uploaded at some point in the near future to YouTube in smaller chunks. Not that this was a super long game anyway. But until next time, that's going to do it for The Real Cryptid King and Smashtonian.
Good night, gamers.
Bye!